Holiday gun sales are breaking records this year. Why this holiday shopping season has been keeping the FBI busy. Meanwhile, Vice President Pence is headed back to Texas. Find out what's bringing him to the state capitol and how he's inspiring state leaders. The small community of Sutherland Springs continuing to mourn the 26 victims of the mass shooting. What's being done to help those trying to cope with the trauma? And in Austin, the Downtown Alliance is using art to get people involved in the city's future. What's being done to make sure the voices of the community are heard? Hi there, and thanks so much for joining us here on Spectrum News. I'm Elizabeth Janelle. We'll get to your top stories in just a bit, but first, meteorologist Emily Borchard is here. It's the first weekend of December, and boy, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, we want to think holiday weather, maybe
cool.
A cold front, and it's a pretty warm. Temperature still running way above average for this time of year, so you got to channel that holiday feel by maybe watching or looking at some holiday lights tonight. I've got a weekend forecast for you that starts with temperatures today near 80 degrees. A little cooler come Sunday. We're tracking a few more clouds and even a chance for showers. A disturbance moves in, but that is not what we're expecting next week. Cold air moving in. I've got the details coming up with your 7-day forecast. Stick around because you're going to need a jacket. That's a big change from this weekend. Liz?
Thanks, Emily. Well, Black Friday set a record for FBI background checks. That means gun sales nationwide were huge for retailers. Our John Salazar breaks down what this means. John?
FBI reported a record 203,000 background checks. Now, gun experts who pay attention to politics say depending on who's holding office or the current political climate, that can have an influence on gun sales. Just last week, Attorney General Jeff Sessions ordered the FBI and ATF to examine problems with the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. That political directive alone, gun advocates say, can spur fear that gun regulation is coming and prompt people to run out and buy weapons. And let's not forget the 26 people murdered inside the Sutherland Baptist Church earlier this month. Since that mass shooting, churches across the country are discussing security. The Black Friday spike countered the $100 million drop in gun sales since Donald Trump took office a year ago.
As we get into the holiday season, typically sales actually increase during that season anyway. But for this particular Black Friday, it was the highest on record in the country. So what people are saying that Trump is bad for gun sales is actually not turned out to be true.
Black Friday gun sales increased 10% over last year. We can expect to see strong gun sales continue throughout the holiday season. John Salazar, Spectrum News.
San Antonio's Ecumenical Center plans to open a permanent office in Sutherland Springs. The center's mission is to offer hope through spiritual, physical, and emotional healing. The center says it's already counseled hundreds of people, Sutherland citizens dealing with the death of family and friends from the murderous rampage. Professionals tell us the healing process will take years. Those doing the counseling say their services go beyond those directly impacted by the deadliest mass shooting in Texas. Within hours after the shooting, the Ecumenical Center deployed more than 20 licensed counselors, psychiatrists, and psychologists. The team of healers will set up shop inside the River Oaks Church there in Sutherland. Meanwhile, one of the survivors of the shooting will hold a funeral today for his 9 family members who were killed. John Holcomb lost his pregnant wife, Crystal Holcomb, her unborn child, 3 children, his parents, a brother, and a niece. The public funeral will take place in Floresville, about 12 miles from where the shooting happened. A procession of hearses will travel from the funeral home to the event center. There will be a private burial at a later date. Meanwhile, here at home, Vice President Mike Pence is making his way to the capital city to attend the Republican Governors Association's annual meeting. The 2-day conference will bring in Republican governors and GOP gubernatorial candidates. More than 30 Republican governors are expected to attend the conference. Pence's visit comes after hosting a fundraiser 2 days ago for Governor Abbott's campaign. The Governors Conference wraps up tomorrow. The Downtown Austin Alliance has been gathering the community's input to help shape the future of downtown. The community's table is part of a temporary public art installation. Members of the community wrote their visions for the area on blocks of wood. Hatch Workshop then put the blocks together to create the table.
So this is part of a bigger process that we've been working on at the Downtown Austin Alliance to really understand what the community thinks and feels about the future of downtown.
The Downtown Alliance says the community's table is just one way people can get involved and share their vision for Austin's future. And some good news now for historical sites. A $25 million fund is being set up to help preserve sites important to African American history. The initiative will be funded through partnerships with groups like the Ford Foundation and the JPP Foundation, and already has $3 million on hand. The money will be used to commemorate some sites already lost to history, like Shockoe Bottom in Richmond, Virginia, which was the center of the city's slave trade, and most of which is now paved over.
I say to you that we are proud to have stood in solidarity in that fight.
Some international news now. In Australia, celebrations breaking out after a major step toward legalizing same-sex marriage. The Australian Bureau of Statistics released results of a national survey showing the majority of Australians are for same-sex marriage. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull hopes to legalize same-sex marriage within the next month. And coming up, Williamson County commissioners voted against adding a plaque to the Confederate statue that stands in Georgetown's town square. Up next, why they rejected the addition for the second year in a row. Stay tuned.